Welcome everyone, and hello to all the beautiful people. I am here with my friends Carl and Jacob. Jacob's back.
Yep,
Hi,
I'm back,
Jake.
guys.
Hi,
It's been a
Jacob.
while.
We
How you
finally let
doing,
him
my
out of the
friend?
cellar.
Yeah, we let him out of quarantine, contamination, something. Carl would know better. He's played the Fallout games.
Yeah, we
Hey, I
finally let
have
him out of his
too.
containment suit.
Yeah, and you know the protocol, Jacob. Get back in your freaking cage.
No, not going back to the vault.
No, you're going back in. We'll let you out next week when we do the news. But yes, we are here today, and we're here to talk about a new topic for today. Carl has brought this one to us, so thank you, Carl. Clap, clap. And we're here to talk about the darkest arc in Ben 10 history. This one is a 4 episode span within the Ultimate Alien series. Obviously, for those who aren't aware, Ben 10 is it's a cartoon. Wow. Haven't heard of those going around nowadays. But it's a cartoon about a boy, teenager by this point, who can transform into aliens using a piece of time-telling jewelry. Did I get that point right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good way to explain it.
close enough.
Close enough. That's an oversimplification. How about that?
Yeah.
But I assume by those who have clicked on, they're familiar with who Ben 10 is. So, Carl, our
Yep.
facts guy,
Actually,
how you doing?
we have
I'm pretty
a
good.
we have a previous episode on Ben 10, but it was the movie.
Yeah, we
It
did,
was
and
it was
that
old though.
episode actually did pretty well.
It was like
Yeah,
it was one of our most highest grossing videos for a long time before our restart of our podcast protocols.
then all
I
the
don't want to
views
be
went down.
I, I I don't want to be that guy, Carl, but all of our videos are the highest grossing because none of them have made any money.
Okay, I meant view-wise, jackass.
I know, I know. Like I said, I didn't want to be that guy, but I had to be that guy. Yes, Carl, how you doing?
I'm okay. I've had better days.
Yeah, he's not under the weather, but he's more like under a slight sprinkle, you know. Like, he's got a little bit of something going on, but hopefully he stays healthy, like me. My immune system's strong. But yes, would you like to bring us some of the info for what we will be discussing today?
So, the Ultimate Kevin arc was technically 5 episodes. So you just didn't need the first episode because it's the end of one arc, start of another one. But we didn't really need it. But that was on my fault for not telling you. It follows the history of Ben, his cousin Gwen, Kevin, and Kevin mutated into his new form, his ultimate form, named Ultimate Kevin, going on a rampage, trying to get anybody who's ever wronged him back, like Barry, but not Barry
Okay,
Allen.
so we might need to distinct berries.
Yes,
Yeah, because there's already a pretty
Yeah.
famous one.
You know, Barry Allen, Barry Manilow. Uh,
Barry
I'm already out
Bonds.
of berries.
Barry,
Strawberries.
Barry Fruits.
Exactly. But continue.
The following episodes are non-iron bars a cage, the enemy of my enemy, and absolute powers 1 and 2.
Very, very nice. So obviously these are 23 minute long um episodes. So we're not going to go through every single little detail because we'll be here for quite a while. But we'll give you a
Yes.
brief synopsis of all of them and take little breaks in between to discuss it. Then we'll discuss the entire arc in its entirety near the end of the video. And the reason we're talking about this is because, as I mentioned earlier, and you've seen in the title, this is one of the darkest arcs in Ben 10 history. Obviously, the show is obviously it's cartoon on Cartoon Network. It's it's for kids, but I wouldn't say it's for like, little kids. It's more in like the, let's say, 9 to 10 sort of range. Was that fair to say, Carl?
Hey, yeah. The show's
Especially in
always
these late,
been,
Depends on the show.
yeah.
yeah, but especially in these later series like Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, I feel like definitely lean more into, somewhere between the 9 to 12 range, just something like that in that area.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it depends for kid to kid, but you know what I mean. But it never really delved into, dark topics, like this very much. I mean, not a lot of shows did. Um, but kind of what we're here talking about, isn't it? So,
Yep.
Carl, would you like to start us off?
Yes. First episode, as I said, was Non-Iron Bars a Cage. It was the seventh episode of the second season, but 17th episode overall of Ultimate Alien. The episode was written by Len Yuli, and it follows Kevin going back into the prisoner dimension known as the Null Void, which we have not seen
Like, is that
since
like the
Alien Force.
Phantom Zone?
Pretty much,
It
yeah.
pretty
It
much
was
is the
it is the Phantom Zone, pretty much actually.
yeah.
Pretty much. Except for actually, they age in this dimension.
And there's like an actual prison set up there in there.
There usually is,
Yeah. Well, the Phantom
but
Zone is just kind of it's kind of a void.
pretty much. But
Like, I remember Superman 2, they just shoot a gun at them and then put them in there.
but Kevin is in the Null Void, here to get revenge on his on the prison warden because he killed his friend Quarrel, who helped him learn how to control his first mutation of the original pen.
Very nice.
Oh, so he was an angry little guy when Kevin was little, and Quarrel just walked up to him and hit him on his back with one
Womp
fell
womp.
swoop. And like a very famous Guy Gardner scene from, he did appear in Batman the Brave and the Bold and in a few comics, where he threw Truck, a prisoner, into a wall with one strike.
I love Guy Gardner getting hurt. It's fun.
Yeah, but this was Truck, a big blue alien.
That's true. Although I would have
This
liked to see a truck being dropped on a Guy Gardner too, but one can only
that would have
dream.
been fun. But mainly, this episode is known for giving us a lot of backstory on Kevin's past, because as people who watched the original continuity, we did not know much of what happened to Kevin after the original series until he popped up again in Alien Force. Remember that, DJ?
Vaguely. It's been a
Yeah.
while, but I believe I do know what you're talking about.
Yep. But like I kind of said in the beginning, Kevin is on a rampage. He'll settle any score with anybody, big, small, little, or big. It doesn't matter. He threw one guy, Barry, as we mentioned, into the hospital over $8. So DJ, if you ever owe me $8, I'm gonna break you and throw you in the
Hey,
hospital till you owe me.
I've paid my debts.
I
Don't even
said
worry
if,
about it.
not if. I said if you owe me $8 again, I'll
Yeah,
break you and throw you in the hospital if you don't pay me back.
Yeah, make sure not to owe him money anymore. That'd be
trust
terrible.
me. Trust me, that ain't gonna happen.
I'm pretty sure you already owe him money, though.
No, my debts are paid. Heck, I even
Yep.
got Spawn here. That was my consolation.
But the prison warden, outside of just being a warden, is also a drug trafficker. He's been having all of his prisoners mine this little blue ore, which causes hallucination.
So, acid
Pretty much acid, yeah. Because
based.
when Ben turns into Humongousaur and hits his head on the wall and gets a bunch of dust, Ben turns into a little alien and tries to beat up Ben. Tries to beat up Gwen. And the way it's kind of funny. The way Gwen gets Ben to snap out of it, slaps him in the face. Kevin then, after his collar's been destroyed by Echo, well, not specifically, but Ben was saving all the prisoners from the electrical attack the warden was doing. Kevin threw the warden into an elevator, cut the line, and dropped it.
Dang, son, how vicious.
It's cold.
But but unfortunately, Kev Gwen was able to save the warden, and he went to jail. And all the other prisoners escaped, except for the one Kevin met at the original time. What was his name? I need to know his name. What? Um,
You've
Quincy.
had them?
Quincy was his name. Quincy was his name.
Well, there you go.
Yep. But that's the major details of the non-iron bars a cage.
It was a decent episode. I thought it was fun. Kevin being a freaking maniac was fun to see in a crude sort of way. What are your main thoughts about it, Carl?
It was a very good episode. It had been a while since I watched the full episode. I recently had re-seen it on the Ben 10 breakdowns by the Ink Tank. Shout out to
Yes,
them.
and,
They kind of gave me the somewhat idea.
of course, for researching purposes for this episode, I watched the 4 episodes in particular. Jacob's is tagging along. Obviously, he was sick, but we're glad to have him here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here though.
But are you ready, Carl, to go on to episode 2? Whoosh.
Yeah, we really went through episode 1 pretty fast.
Much didn't happen in episode 1 of our.
That is also true. Not a ton, especially when it comes to the story, happened during that episode. So
Let's say just flashback history we got for Kevin when we didn't get originally.
kind of a lot of exposition.
Yeah, it was just
Exposition.
now into the episode The Enemy of My Enemy.
Is this one of your favorites from the arc?
Oh no, my favorite ones are from the 2-part Absolute Power. This one was kind of it. Not barely counts, but the only real thought is one character. Kevin wants to kill one particular character in this episode. But our episode opens up with Argent, a very slimy individual. Who
I can't. I obviously Carl is free to do whatever he wants, but I referred to him as something very specific before we started, but I can't say it on the air. But let's just say it rhymes with Hiddleset.
but Argent, who owes a bunch of debt to the Riedel brothers' father, has now been tasked with breaking into the Plumbers Academy to fix their scores because they are failing at the Plumbers Academy.
Oh boy!
At the exact same time, Ben and Gwen are arguing on what to do with Kevin. Well, we're talking about finding the crashed ship that just landed, and Gwen is not happy that Ben wants to kill Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean, does she still have feelings for Kevin?
Yes. That's why she wants to save him. Ben wants to, unfortunately, have to kill him. He doesn't want to, but he has to.
That's where the dark themes of this arc begin. Like we're not into it yet, but that's where sort of the seeds for it are planted. With Ben's pretty much intent to kill.
Yeah. He at this point, after losing to Ultimate Agrigor, losing the Andromeda 5, his morals are gone. He's tried to play the hero so many times, and he's failed so many times. Like,
yeah, he ain't doing so good, Chief. He ain't doing so good.
If he wants to save the world, he's going to have to unfortunately throw his morals out and do something he doesn't want to, but it has to do.
Which sometimes you have to do that if you're a superhero.
But Archie explains that when he finally runs into Gwen and Kevin Gwen and Ben, sorry. So you're saying Gwen and Kevin. After Ben almost runs Argent over with a sports car, explains how he wanted to make a deal with for a project and wanted to talk to his buddy Kevin, and how Kevin almost splatted him till he was able to get when he got near his ship that Kevin destroyed, he went and landed right in front of their car. And he's they say, "You gotta hide me, you gotta hide me." So eh, so yeah. Archit gets exploded in front of in front of Ben's car. It was like, "You gotta get me away from Kevin." It was like, "We can leave you at the lab in La Soledad." First place he'd look. We can throw you in the null void. A lot of people in there don't like me. Which is like, who cares if they don't like you? We're trying to save you from Kevin, not save you from other people. Oh, what about the Plumbers Academy? It's the closest fortified facility to Earth. The place where they train new cadets. No, anywhere but there, please. Okay, fine. Because that's really where he wanted to go. It's just
Yeah.
he's trying to trick them. And then he somehow has a tracking device that Kevin put on him. So as they're flying in the Rust Bucket 3, a new jet that they have named after the famous Rust Bucket that the family drove in the first series. Did you know there was three of them, DJ?
What was the third one?
The third one is the jet. You don't know about the second one, do you?
What was the second one? Was
It's
it a
the
boat?
one. No, it's remember in Alien Force when Ben goes to that trailer park and goes into the Rust Bucket?
Quote unquote.
That is Rust Bucket 2.
Huh.
The first one finally broke down. I don't know.
How? We'll never know.
Sorry, stopping.
It's all good.
Don't know how. Don't know how because it's been exploded. I don't know how many times, but somehow, whatever they did was the final kaput for that version of the Rust Bucket.
It finally kicked the bucket.
More is more just they wanted to. They had to keep the iconic of the Rust Bucket, but they didn't want to the Rust Bucket couldn't do that in the last one. Well, that's a new Rust Bucket. He can do new
Ooh.
things.
Ooh.
He was just their kind of scapegoat, like, oh, it's a new Rust Bucket. It can do different things now. But
I like.
so they take him to the Fulmer's facility because Ben decides to use Argent as a trap. There's one
Fair.
funny thing where Kevin's rocking against the ship, like why doesn't he just phase and he got the power of a ghost? Maybe he didn't read the big chill instructions. Like,
He did read the instructions on his new DNA.
Doofus, you've got the powers of a ghost. Come in already. And he phases through. And eventually, after being Kevin attacking them, Gwen opens the door, sending boxes in his car, Kevin's car out the airlock. And when Kevin gets hit by his car, it's like either I could follow them or I could save my car. I'm gonna go save my car. He'll his car.
Freaking Kevin.
But when they get to the facility, it's like the magistrate, I don't remember his name. He's one note character. Like what's he doing here? Pointing at Argent. Ben's using him as bait.
Mhm.
He's like, you're using my facility for the young rookie cadets as counterfire to Kevin. It's like, he's like, he's like, Argent, you're going in a cell, and you two in my office, like in the principal. You've been called to the
They
principal's
really give
office.
the principal treatment.
You've never been to the principal's office, have you, DJ?
No, never had to. I was a good lad.
You're also homeschooled, so you don't really have a principal.
That's also true, but you know, semantics are semantics.
I have been to the principal's office. It is not fun.
I couldn't imagine it would be.
Yeah. Only time I had fun was when they gave me a prize. Being good.
Oh, you know, I mean,
Good.
I've been to the nurses a couple times. They would
Yeah, it
always
was
give me a prize if I lost a tooth.
so they're like the tooth fairy?
They gave me a little chest and to put it in, and they gave me candy too.
Yep, sounds like the tooth fairy. Mine is not getting cash.
Yeah, I don't get monetary value out of it.
But eventually, because Argent wanted to be there, he eventually finds the records room and changes the records for the Beatles. One funny line the Beatles say is, "We're flunking out. And we just don't want our dad to whack us." Not it's funny because Argent's his Beatles' dad sent Argent in to fix their grades. But eventually Kevin and Ben get into a little bit of a fight as Ben as ultimate humongousaur. And then the Beatles do something very stupid. So just being Beatles. Do you remember what they did?
Uh, are we past the 15-minute mark?
I think so. Oh yeah, definitely. I checked the audio log. We're over
Oh
15
yeah,
minutes already.
definitely being dumbasses.
Well, so Argent tells them to bring their weapons, and Octagon Rito shoots a nuclear fusion grenade. He's like, "That'll take care of Kevin. Also, everyone on this station." Oh, I did
He's
not
going
think
full
of that.
kamikaze.
Okay, I did not think of that.
Not giving any Fs.
But it's like, so Ben quickly turns into Echo Echo to try to contain the blast. He somewhat does it, but Echo Echo's not powerful enough. You know what time it is, DJ?
Ultimate Echo Echo.
It's ultimate Echo Echo time.
It's pretty
Is able to
based.
he breaks the glass of the space station, throws the bomb out of the out of the ship, and detonates it safely. And
Uh,
during that, Kevin is kindly just beating up on Argent.
yeah. Kevin's
Eventually,
kind of kind of mad at this point, if you couldn't tell by now.
he's not mad; he's insane.
Some say they're the same thing.
True, but he's like, it wasn't until Gwen said, "That's enough, Kevin." He's like, "You're right," and throws him over. And like he's about to hit Gwen. It's like, You're only safe because you used to mean something to me." And flies away. He's like, Gwen's like, "Where's Ben?" He just came in. He's okay. What
Man,
about Argent?
Tail really saved her, didn't it?
Oh yeah. It's like he's Magister's like, "He's dead, son." No, he's just playing dead. Wake up, Argent. Argent opened his eyes like
That little rat.
he's like, "How was I supposed to do it? I shut off my pulse. How else do you think Kevin's gonna stop?" How like Ben, how'd you know that? Like, how do you think this annoying ass species survived for so long? And the best irony is because Argent changed the Vito score. He's like, "You assaulted two cadets, so you're under arrest, and you have 14 outstanding warrants." Which is
Oof.
like, "Isn't it your idea to go to the plumbers academy outside of being paid to do it by, well, not paid, paid to not be killed, I guess, to not
Yeah,
be killed by."
paid to not suffer.
So, but Octagon and Rhomboid Vito, the two he helped, arrest him and throw him in jail.
Well,
Pure ironic comedy.
I love irony.
So, what did you
Irony.
think of the enemy of my enemy?
Definitely helps build more to pretty much what the climax of this arc is, which is the next two episodes. But I thought it
Sure.
had some fun moments. Um, like you said earlier, it's just we're not quite hitting that stride yet. It's more just Kevin doing angry Kevin things at this moment. But
I hate to say, I did forget to mention this one was written by Len Yuli as well. I forgot to mention that.
hmm. Unless you have something to mention, Carl, are you ready to get into the meat of it?
Time for absolute power. Oh,
Here we
I,
go.
I accidentally deleted the first Wikipedia page. Oopsie.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I got it back now. So now we're on the first episode the last of the first episode. Absolute
It's all right, Carl.
Absolute Power Part 1, written by Charlotte Fullerton, and one small scene written by Dwayne McDuffie.
Rest in peace. Before we continue, actually, I I recently
Okay.
just watched Justice League Doom, and at the end, well, right before the end credits, they give a small eulogy. Just it's just flashing up on screen a small eulogy to Dwayne McDuffie, who had recently passed away after that movie.
I was gonna say, yeah, that movie, and I think Superman All Star Superman just came around that same time too. And I think
Yeah, yeah, pretty
that
sure.
and the end of Ultimate Alien was technically last thing he wrote.
Yeah, these all really
Technically,
coincided right before his untimely death.
I think he did write the first episode of Omniverse, so they did credit it to him after that.
But yeah, I just want to say that really quickly because I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah, he was a legendary man.
Love some McDuffie.
Yeah. But the episode opens up with Alan Albright, a half human, half Pyronite hybrid, running through a cornfield.
Which I don't want to know how that happened.
You really want to know? I can tell you
No,
after the episode.
yeah,
But and he's panicking, worrying about who's being. We have no who he's being chased by. He's being chased by Kevin, and Kevin's like, "You have something I want. I have. I don't know what you want from me, Kevin." He wants his powers.
man,
So, and after he gets
Daft.
done absorbing Alan, guess who shows up?
Ben.
Ben shows up as NRG, which is
Wow,
GOOD. Sorry, that's
the
an
bad
omniverse
guy,
joke.
and that's
So,
good.
so eventually, after the gun beating up Kevin and Kevin running away, he's Alan asks if he Ben asks Alan if he's all right, and he explains how Kevin's gone absorbed his powers and absorbed the powers of Helen, half human, half Kenaceleran hybrid, Pierce, a half human, half whatever species Argent is made out of, and Manny, a half human, half Tetraman, and an odd one, Dr. Victor, which we have not seen since the classic.
Do you want to explain what those different alien species are for the uninitiated?
Sure. A Kenaceleran is a very fast species. Think of someone a little bit slower than Top Speed Flash. Would that be a good estimate of what a Kenaceleran is?
Just say it's accelerate.
It is accelerate, but I want to be funny.
Yeah, you are a funny man. I'll give you that much.
Pierce is based off of Argent species, which we just mentioned last. One who can shoot spikes that can knock people out. But he can just extend his and turn them into bow staff.
Which is handy.
Manny is based on forearms, which is a Tetraman with forearms. And
Wow.
Dr. Victor, who is not really a hybrid, but is just a Transilian, a Frankenstein type monster who worked for an alien called Ghost, who was one of the aliens in the Omnitrix originally in Classic.
Love Ghost Freak.
But that actually, I just realized there's a typing error
Oh.
in this Wikipedia page. It says at Ben's house, Ben finally decides that he needs to annihilate Kevin, but Gwen disagrees. In the episode, Ben's at Gwen's house, not his house.
Oh. Wikipedia stuff. Well, anyone's in edit Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'll help them. I'll edit it for them. But after their little fight of Ben shooting chromostone lasers at Gwen melting chromostone, Ben getting annoyed, so he decided to blow Gwen with Terraspin. I said that on purpose that way, DJ.
Carl, have you been going to those websites again?
No, I'm just a normal college student.
Oh, Pucky.
But anyways, after that little fight, um Ben goes to a warehouse to go beat up some Forever Knights. Know where Kevin is. Which is
Glad to see the
he
Forever
actually
Knights again, by the way.
what?
Glad to see the Forever Knights again, by the way.
Oh yeah, he get nice and magnetized by Lodestar that took DJ forever to figure out what alien it was. In the
Oh,
Ultimate Kevin
sorry, I
combination.
didn't realize that he had freaking tiger stripes.
But While Ben is beating up on Forever Nights, Gwen goes to meet with Max to go see to try to convince Max to convince Ben that this is not a good idea, or at least to confirm with her idea of what is right. But when Max is like, no, Ben is right. I put Kevin on like a mad dog. But then she goes to find a very interesting person. Do you remember who she goes finds?
Uh, Bill Clinton.
No, I think he was busy with a saxophone and a Nazi. I mean, not a Nazi, a communist.
Whoa, Carl, whoa.
Hey, they're both evil.
You don't want to make allegations here. We try not to get political.
Family Guy
And
did it.
then again, I was the one who brought up Bill Clinton.
True.
It was the
No,
first funny name that came to mind.
she found Michael.
What? How
Found
could it be?
a very funny name, Michael Morningstar. Play on Lucifer Morningstar, aka Dark
Perhaps.
Star, who's been living off the energy of hurting DJ's favorite thing, stray dogs.
Big sad.
Yeah. But Gwen trying to do a spell, Dark tries to absorb her energy. Gwen blasts him, knocking off his very ugly his helmet, showing him how ugly he is. Because he is very ugly.
Ugly man.
Then Gwen does the spell and turns him into his nice, pretty form. And Gwen and Morningstar make a deal. She'll help if Morningstar helps Gwen, she'll give him mana for a year, so he can stay his beautiful form for a year.
Super beautiful.
But meanwhile, Ben is driving in his car looking for Kevin. His communicator beeps, thinking is Gwen like, "I'm done talking, Gwen." And Ben and Max go back and forth talking about how Max is like, "This is the sensible move, the smart move." This There was another word, but I don't remember what it was. But it's not the Ben move. Ben trusts people. They give second chances and they leave up to your expectations. And Ben is like, I'm sorry to what's going to happen to Kevin. I am. But I I have to do something I'm gonna have to do. And then we find him beating up on Volcanus. That's humongous. Explain Volcanus, DJ.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Can I at least consult the wiki so I don't get any facts wrong?
Just brief summary of what he is.
Okay, so Volcanus is the name of volcano in the southern islands of Hawaii, and
The alien, not the volcano, you moron.
oh, why weren't you very specific? No, no, he's a dude in a suit. Um, Remind me what his species name is called. I think it begins with a D.
I think it's a Detravite.
Yeah, yeah.
It
I
is
think
a
that was it.
it is a Detravite.
Okay, cool. Yeah, his whole thing was that he was just a dude in a suit, and he didn't get along with a lot of people. I mean, it's not really much else to say there.
He's
He
also a
was
criminal.
just a bad guy, you know.
He didn't like
Bad,
to wear shirt. He
bad
didn't like to wear
mofo.
shirt. He liked to wear a diaper too.
That too.
But yeah, Ben is amongst us like asking Volcanus, fighting him, asking, "Where's Kevin?" And eventually, Ben, after transforming back to Ben, convinces is convinced by Gwen to go with her plan to go with helping cure Kevin. But if he says, "I will," if anything goes wrong, I will put him down. And he's like, "Why are you even trusting Darkstar anyways?" And he both bring and it's like, "How are you going to cure Kevin anyways?" With the Dominus Librium. a prop that is from actually Alien Force season 3. Don't ask me what episode, where they cure Kevin of his stone, crystal, wood, and metal amalgamation of things.
Why didn't they try this before?
It broke. When when Kevin was cured initially, Kevin lost all of his powers, so he's
True.
pretty much useless in a fight. So
It's
to
it's like in the Ben 10 games where like you run out of energy, then you have to fight as Ben for like 5 seconds, and he just sucks.
pretty much that, but eventually he's like, okay, so he absorbs the Chris, and he's also absorbing Gwen and Swampfire. Actually, we get a flashback to that scene, but he breaks it. He breaks the Dominus Liberium. It no longer works.
Oh no.
But then they go to a very interesting location. They go to Total Zone. Remember Total Zone?
No.
Total Zone was the arcade Ben and Gwen and Ken first met in Classic.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of fun. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Continuity.
Also helps set that Bellwood is in New York.
Is it
But
really?
no, just another fan. People either think is in that Alabama, Texas. There's no definitive place where Bellwood is. It just happened to be that happened to be some evidence that helps it. That theory that is in New York.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But when Gwen goes to the arcade to set up a trap for Kevin, she tries to talk to him, try to get him to sing, and he just starts to break. He had some sentence like, I want you to stay away from me, and start to absorb Gwen, and she screams in pain. And that has how absolute power ends. Part one ends, sorry. What'd you think
I,
of Absolute Power Part One?
this is where a thing goes to the next level, the nth degree, if you will.
Yeah.
Obviously, well, not obviously, but my favorite part was when the I don't know if it's your favorite part or not, but when Ben was talking with Max in the car,
Yep.
because it's a real moral dilemma that he's got going on here, and it's uh one that really
Right.
makes you think. Is that the route you would want if you were in this situation? Would that be the route you go?
So you remember how I said earlier, Charlotte Fulton and Dwayne McDuffie wrote this episode?
Yeah.
On the wiki, it is only credited as Charlotte Fullerton.
Huh.
The part that Dwayne McDuffie wrote was that Max and Ben scene. Because
I
the
mean,
episode just ran too short, so they needed an extra scene.
it makes sense. Dwayne's kind of good at the whole writing thing.
Oh yeah. But on to Absolute Power Part 2.
Whoop whoop.
Absolute Power Part 2 is written by Dwayne McDuffie
Ooh,
this time.
very cool.
And if it follows up with the previous episode of Kevin absorbing Gwen's powers as she begs for him to stop. I don't remember, actually, I did forget to mention in Absolute Power Part 1, he does say the infamous Michael line with, "Give me your power, lovely Gwen."
The
That
power.
really creepy line that
The
Michael.
power. Very. It is very weird, isn't it?
Yep. But after that, in the in I'm sorry, in the Rust Bucket Mark III, as they're flying, they come up with the plan, and Max is now all healed in his plumber suit as Kevin goes to Gwen's house to get more mana out of her. He's like, "She's not home right now, Kevin. I can sense that she's here though. She, Max, I'm sorry, Max, a character we've never met before, Harvey Hackett. You remember? Do you remember who Harvey Hackett is?
They introduce him in this episode?
Yep, he never existed beforehand, and he never seen ever again. He's a one episode appearance.
No, I don't remember him that much.
Well, he is Kevin's stepfather.
Huh.
I'm not kidding. But anyways, as Kevin and Harvey begin to argue, um, Kevin's angry, like, my mom should have never married you. If she loved dad, she would have never married you, pretty much. He's like, your mother loved your late father more than me and loved you more than both of us combined.
Wow.
And then Ben turns into Big Chill and freezes Kevin. But only, but like in every super thing, he only did it once. He only did one layer of ice. So guess what Kevin did?
He breaks out.
He breaks out of it.
Wow. Could have never imagined.
And then when Ben is knocked to the ground, Kevin's like, got anything else, Tennyson? Yeah, spider monkey. And grabs a lamp pole and smashes him into the rust bucket Mark II.
Dang, son.
And Ben's like, Grandpa's like, Ben! Sorry, Grandpa. Didn't mean to. Yes, you did, Ben. You did that on purpose. Maybe not destroying the RV, but you did mean to hit Kevin. Um, and then Kevin makes a tornado out of the terror spin abilities he has and spins Spider Monkey into a tornado as he spins, and then gets stuck, then but webs himself out of the onto a lamppost and hanging kind of like Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gwen and Kev Gwen is following Gwen as I'm forgetting the episode now. Why should you consult my list? My little
That'd
Wikipedia
probably
page.
be a good idea.
Oh yeah. So then Ben catches up when Gwen is stopped on the road after saving a driver that Kevin destroyed the truck of, and then turned into Echo Echo. And another very dark scene in the episode, as Gwen is getting into Ship, a little galvanic mechamorph upgrade, who's Julie's pet. Kevin destroys every single Echo Echo, thinking he killed Ben.
But it's a swerve.
He's like, Kevin, you wouldn't. He smiles and then neuroshocks him dead.
Dang, son. What's up with that?
But funny enough, Darkstar and Cooper are almost done with the plan. Cooper, who's voiced by Chris Pratt, I will mention.
Wait.
You didn't know that? Ultimate Alien Cooper is voiced by Chris Pratt.
I didn't catch on to that.
Yep, that's Chris Pratt.
It's me, a Mario.
It is me, a Cooper.
Whoa.
But then Gwen kicks the glass out of the back of his car. Is like, good thing I always keep a spare in the trunk. Talking about an Echo Echo clone in the trunk.
Dang.
So then he turns into Ultimate Echo Echo and flies to Los Soledad, where the machine is being built.
And that car was getting beat up every episode anyway.
What?
I mean, that car was getting beat up every other episode anyway.
Ben's car? Ben's car was only introduced in Ultimate Alien.
Oh,
Kevin's
no.
car was getting destroyed
Yeah,
all the time.
that's what I meant. Kevin's car.
Yeah, last time we saw Kevin's car was when he got thrown out of the airship in the enemy of my enemy. I want to know, where did Kevin put his car? Where did he put the car? I don't know. But
Also, before we move on, this is the part where I take time to note my favorite Kevin line in the entire series. It didn't happen in this episode, but I thought it'd be funny to mention now since we're joking about his car, even though this has nothing to do with his car. Let's just roll with it. You already know what it is.
oh yeah, I've seen it.
But it's when he says, I don't know if I can smash your grandma.
Oh, that's not the line I think you're thinking of.
What were you thinking?
When after Kevin was trying to teach Gwen how to, was like, you got to treat a car like you treat a woman.
Oh yeah, that's another good one. That's another good one. You gotta treat a car like you treat a woman.
Like, go on. I feel like I've messed up. So
I feel
no.
like I've messed up, so I'm gonna stop talking.
So now, as Gwen and Gwen and Kevin get to La Soledad after Gwen has been dropped off by Julie to keep Kevin busy as Doc Star finishes the machine. Cooper uses the military defense system of La Soledad, the army base. And finally, after 50 years of this base being active, they finally have emptied all of the ammunition.
Took them long enough.
Oh yeah, it's an abandoned military base.
Still, I would have
Yep.
had it emptied out or something.
But anyways, Ben now as Ultimate Echo uses his Sonic Doom attack, knocking out Kevin, and Ben using taking one of his Sonic discs, putting it right in front of Kevin, says, "One last shot." Gwen's like, "Ben, you promised I'd say I'll do it my way." I lied. It's like, fine, you get
Oh
one
dang!
chance. But so they stick him in the machine, absorb all the power out of him, but Michael gets turned into his golden form, which you saw once in his debut episode. I don't remember the name of the episode, sorry. But and then Ben pushes the little button and all the power disappears out of Michael and returns to Alan and all of that. All of their powers are returned. Um all the Andromeda 5 are revived back to life. And
Well, that's great.
and Kevin apologizes to Ben, but then they argue of like if you weren't such a wuss, if you were Kevin to Ben like if you were evil, I would have taken out just like that. Ben like if I had, you couldn't be here to call me a wuss. So all is forgiven. Gwen's like, who wants to go to my house and explain to my parents what happened to the house? They're like, want to go to Mr. Smoothie? And completely ignore her question. And Ben and Gwen walk off. And that is the end of Absolute Power Part 2.
I love it when we end with Mr. Smoothie.
Yep.
But yeah, like this dude was ready to freaking murk Kevin.
So
So,
what did you
what do you
think?
think, Carl? No, I asked first.
Oh, technically yes at the same time. But
Yeah,
I like this episode. Dwayne was a very good wrote a very good episode.
I mean, Dwayne was always nearly a top notch when it came to writers. So obviously, this one had great quality when it came to that aspect. And
But
like we mentioned, the moral implications of this episode are probably one of the strongest in the entire series.
I would say this is some of these I definitely say these are the second darkest episodes. There is one episode that is definitely the darkest.
What's that?
No, sorry. Third, sorry. These are like the third darkest. Second darkest is the Purge episode where the Forever Knights kill a bunch of aliens. And Ben's like tells Driscoll, the Forever King, you hurt any alien ever again. Well,
And
I
I
am
will.
Ben and I will hunt you down. And it was like,
I remember this one.
yeah.
Also, the im implication. There we go. Of genocide is also there, so that's nice.
And then the darkest of them all was A Star is Born.
Run that back by me.
Star is Born is a technically continuation of the Captain Nemesis episode, where Captain Nemesis breaks out of prison after Ben put him in there and kidnaps, I say technically in air quotes, Jennifer Nocturne, an actress he technically rescued in her first appearance, which was in Captain Nemesis episode. And she
Okay.
develops feelings for Captain Nemesis.
Ah, shoot, she got Stockholm syndrome.
This is the Stockholm Syndrome episode.
Ah, crap.
Entire episode, Ben's thinking we gotta save Jennifer. She's been kidnapped by Captain Nemesis. And when Ben finds her and he turns into clockwork to I guess, at erase Captain Nemesis. I don't know why he was clockwork,
I don't know.
but but she shoots him in the arm, knocking out Ben, and he gets a broken arm for the rest of the episode.
It's a rough one.
We learn that she had a dangerous past.
This one isn't necessarily dark, like the one I'm thinking about right here, but it's not dark. It's actually quite humorous. But the fact that it's a reference to something that's very dark, I find extremely hilarious. There's two specifically. Um, One is a reference to the Twilight Zone. I can't remember which episode this is in, but it's a scene with Ghost Freak and Zombozo, where Ghost Freak says, "Do you want to see something really scary?" And then
That's
he,
in
oh,
that's Last Laugh, season 1, episode
okay, thank
9
you.
of Classic.
And he like opens up his chest, and obviously that's a reference to the Twilight Zone because obviously in the beginning segment of that movie, the hitchhiker asks, "Do you want to see something really scary?" Before he kills the dude. And I can't remember. This is a very fuzzy one, but I definitely know that it happened because apparently all types of kid shows love doing this. And in one of the episodes, there's a reference to The Shining. I think it's the
Uh,
two little girls. I could be wrong
Oh yeah, there are two little ecto girls in Sascare's palace in one of the Omniverse parks.
because again, kid shows love referencing The Shining. It's just something that they do, and I have no clue why.
Warner Brothers, Paramount really like referencing The Shining.
Yeah, despite no kid has ever seen The Shining.
If I ever do meet Yuri Lowenthal, I'd ask him what was his experience writing the or doing the episode Above and Beyond,
Why would you ask him that?
because that is the only episode where Ben gets to be and to be a bad guy.
That is true. Uh, Obviously, Yuri Lowenthal has been voice acting for a long time, but his more iconic roles are of heroes, Ben 10, very recently Spider-Man.
Did you
But
know
he
he
hasn't
actually
really.
played a? Did you know he played a villain in Ben 10?
I mean, Albedo's right there.
Okay, I mean like a okay outside of Albedo.
What was the other one?
In the reboot, he voices Vilgat.
Really?
Yeah,
That's uh fun. That reminds me of oh, it's like I can't remember what his name is. Like it's very similar to Vilgax. The dude looks like Vilgax. He's
oh,
voiced by him, but he's like a trucker. And then freaking
he's not.
Tara Strong's there.
No, he's a plumber. It's Bill Gack. He's
That's what it is.
he's a plumber, like a handy plumber, not
Yeah,
like
like
the
an
organized.
actual plumber.
And an alien who's voiced by Tara Strong. Like, go, you want to see how to like take a drain? No, just do your job. It's Tara Strong, the classic bed, and I think Steve Bloom, who
Yeah, I think
voiced
it's
Vilgax in the original.
50-50 odds. It's Steve Blum.
There's like two those actors who talked to each other before. It's like have to act like they don't know each other.
It's good fun. Good fun.
Did you did you
Uh
like did you like the Ultimate Kevin arc?
yes, I did. I do like it when this will sound morbid, but I do like it when shows like this do take a more dark or in this case mature approach to when it comes to these sorts of situations. 'Cause obviously these kind of things are brought in, into several other types of superhero media. I mean, I just recently finished the third season of Daredevil, and that whole last episode is a very similar vibe to what Ben's going through in this one. Obviously, I guess spoilers, the show is pretty old. by streaming means by this point. But in that one, Daredevil is really like, yeah, after all that he's done, I'm gonna kill the Kingpin. I'm gonna kill him. But right at the last minute, he has that change of heart because that would go against everything he would believe in, and it would just be he would never be able to forgive himself. And
Almost
that's
like
go ahead.
almost like negative 22 Batman.
That too.
Do you remember
And
who negative 32 negative 22 Batman is?
Vampire Batman's got to be.
No. Negative means
What?
it's the dark multiverse.
I know. I never told you this, but I once had to explain the dark multiverse to my mother. It was a fun experience.
Okay, I think that might have been the question I would ask you earlier, but when we finish recording, I'm asking why you had to explain the dark multiverse to your mother. But no, I'm talking about negative 22 Batman, the Batman who laughed.
Whoa. That dude.
Is one of the most annoying characters ever created. Thank you, Scott Snyder.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. But yeah, that's a very similar moral decision that Ben has to go through here because it's like what Grandpa Max said. It's not the Ben way. If he had killed Kevin, he would never have been able to forgive himself.
Yeah.
And he'd just be a completely different person. We knew they weren't going to do it, but.
Yep, that's our opinions on the Ultimate Kevin arc.
Yes, sir. This was quite the fun episode to do. Do you have any final thoughts before we start to wrap this up, Carl?
I will say, probably someone's wondering, what was the episode I didn't mention that you two technically should have, not should have, but could have watched? Because technically it's the start of the Ultimate Kevin arc. It was the Forge of Creation episode. It was the end of the Ultimate Greg arc and the start of Ultimate Kevin.
Gotcha.
But that would have been a lot more to explain, and I didn't feel like explaining that Ultimate Greg arc.
Yeah, and we don't want to be here forever.
Like I said, I have to explain an entire 2 seasons worth of episodes. I ain't gonna get that done quickly.
No way, dude.
4 is easier.
So yes, with all of that out of the way, it is time for us to wrap this episode up. Thank you all for watching this, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned, because next time we'll be bringing you more news, and who knows what next topic we'll have for you. But remember, stay cultured. Bye
See
bye.
y'all. See y'all. And also, don't forget to find DJ Tom to get a cookie. Or a piece of pie. Or a piece of cake.
Bye.